Hey guys, today I just want to talk to you about jumping. Now, just a warning, there's no real tricks in this video. Jumping just comes down to basically 100% practice. That being said, I can just tell you about the 5 things that I did that taught me how to jump. So, the first thing, when I was first starting out riding, I just jumped off a ton of curbs. I just was always jumping off every curb I could find. The nice thing is they vary in size a lot. You can jump off little curbs, big curbs, some that are actually decent sized drops. And what this does is it's a really simple way for you to get used to being in the air. And it's pretty low consequence. You can jump off a little curb going slow, you can basically just roll off it, and you can practice going faster and faster. So that was the first thing I did. It got me used to sort of jumping my bike, jumping off a curb, and that's what I'd recommend doing as well. So the second thing I did was I started hitting little jumps. Now, basically, I don't know if you could even call these jumps. Sometimes they were just slight ramps and I would jump off them. I started really small and I would just use these ramps to get a little bit of air, get used to being in the air, get used to that feeling. Instead of dropping, I was jumping up. And again, just try and find really low consequence little jumps that don't even necessarily need to be jumps. Grass banks work just fine. That's what I did, and just keep practicing that. Now the trick here is, before you start to go on to bigger jumps, what I would recommend is doing these jumps faster. What that does is it just gets your body used to hitting the jumps. When it comes time to hit bigger jumps, you're gonna need to go fast. And a lot of times when I've seen inexperienced people go to hit jumps, and they're moving from small jumps to big jumps, they haven't transitioned themselves to going faster. So not only are they hitting bigger jumps, but they're also going faster, and they might not realize that you really need to work on both of those skills, hitting jumps fast and hitting big jumps. Go out there, find a nice jump, one that you can hit faster and faster and faster, and just keep progressing. Now in my journey to learn how to jump, what I did was I worked on a variety of jumps. Now again, those grass banks, those are jumps, just flat, nice takeoffs, but I would also work on jumps with a little bit more lip, because when you start to get to bigger jumps, almost all of them have sort of a lip to launch you up into the air. And this is something that if you don't practice, I've seen a lot of people, they get bucked, the back wheel goes in the air, and they crash. Now what I did, I didn't necessarily have big lip jumps. I would sometimes just find dirt piles that were sort of around the city, and I would just dig a lip into them. Or you can go to the skate park. The quarter pipe is sort of a great place to practice because it's a super lippy jump, but you can fly out onto the deck. So it's pretty low consequence. As long as you go fast enough to get out of the bowl, out of that quarter pipe, it's not really much of a problem. And again, the quarter pipe's another good one actually, because that's a place where you can practice going faster and going higher, but it's pretty low consequence. You just go a little faster every time, go a little higher every time, but you're just landing sort of low speed right on the top of the deck. Another one that really helped me in developing my jumping skills was knowing how to bunny hop. And there's a lot of parallels between bunny hopping and jumping. When you're going off the lip, that front wheel is leaving first and it's followed by the back wheel. And actually, when you go to boost a jump, that's sort of what you're doing. You're pulling up really high with the front and then you're pulling up the back, and that helps you get a little higher in the air. So if you're learning to jump, I also recommend learning how to bunny hop at the same time, because these two skills, they're definitely intertwined, and knowing how to bunny hop is definitely going to help you with knowing how to jump. So maybe when you're out, you're practicing how to jump, you're hitting little jumps, practice your bunny hops while you're out there too. Great skills to learn. And the 5th thing I did, and I bet you already see this one coming, was I practiced a lot. I practiced all the time. I don't even know how many jumps I've hit. Definitely thousands, maybe even tens of thousands. And still, I'm not super confident on every jump. This is a skill that you need to do all the time, because I find if I don't hit jumps, I start to sort of lose the feel for it. And not only that, you got to keep pushing yourself to hit those bigger jumps. To go faster, it takes a ton of practice. I remember when I was first learning how to jump, I would see other people who could jump. I just didn't understand why it looked so easy, but it's because they had practiced so much, it was second nature to them. So if you're feeling sort of discouraged and it feels like you're trying to juggle and you don't know, and it feels super awkward and weird, everyone feels that way. But if you keep practicing, I just have to promise that eventually you'll be that guy who's comfortable and it will start to feel normal. It's all about practice. No one just jumped on a bike and hit a huge double. That's just sort of the truth of it. So you guys need to get out there and practice a lot. So that's really the 5 ways that I learned to jump. And again, I apologize, there's not really any tricks to it. It really comes down to just practicing, sometimes finding your own way. And the great thing about jumping is it's super fun. I love jumping. A-Line obviously is super popular jump line at the Whistler Bike Park for a reason. It's filled with jumps. Super fun. Highly recommend learning how to jump. So get out there and try it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't noticed, I've got a new logo and some new merchandise. Some pretty neat sweaters, I think. And I've also got a couple videos you can see here. And maybe you can subscribe here. All right, see you guys in the next one.